on this video, then you are probably an ADHDer like me. Lost, confused, looking for the formula. That perfect plan of attack for your life that will be the thing that makes you the most organized, best, successful, most optimized version of yourself. And, well, I hate to break it to you, but this is not that video. See, the thing is, this video is all about morning routines with ADHD, but I don't really think I have a morning routine, which begs the question, why am I making this video? Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I'm a graduate student at Parsons School of Design, where I study the sociocultural phenomenon of fashion, and I am here to talk about morning routines with you. With the caveat of saying that I am not much of a proponent for morning routines. Now, is there research that suggests that a good morning routine is like a helpful thing to have that sets you up to have a good day and be a successful person? Maybe. But the problem I want to address in this video is the messaging that I take away from videos online about morning routines, even the ones that are backed by research, that says that your morning routine needs to be a formula in order to be effective, to be something that brings value to your life. This is where ADHDers get into trouble. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and it's essentially a neurodevelopmental disorder that causes a breakdown of executive functioning in the brain. But what are the executive functions? The executive functions are the set of cognitive skills that allow you to be good at and manage things like task initiation, time management, organization, managing impulsivity. In addition to executive functioning skills breaking down, there's also been an observable kind of miscommunication or breakdown between cause and effect in the ADHDer's brain. We don't always know what outcome comes from which behavior. This means that when we lack awareness of cause and effect in combination with executive functioning breakdowns, which are responsible for helping us do things, morning routines, checklists, to-do lists, formulas, etc., fail for the ADHDer because we struggle to initiate the tasks that are on the to-do list, because we don't always know how to organize the to-do list, because we're not sure which actions are going to result in which outcomes. I think that having a list of things that you think you should do or that you expect yourself to do that you can't manage to make yourself do only leads to feelings of shame, which those feelings are more disruptive than anything else, really. Rather than having a formula or a checklist, I think it actually makes more sense to have a list of things that you can do rather than you should do, which is a strategy that's often referred to as menus, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Additionally, I think ADHDers also often fall into the trap of thinking that something will be the perfect formula without taking into consideration what it is that we are already doing. This part of the conversation kind of sucks, in my opinion, for ADHD folks, because in order to successfully develop a pattern of behavior that you find satisfactory, whether that means building a new routine or building a habit, whatever it may be, you have to build awareness, which naturally takes more time than just deciding to adopt a new routine. I know that really sucks for us ADHDers who live in the now and are here for the immediacy and the instant gratification. But here I do actually want to pause and lean on some of the research and say that ADHD researchers and experts have shown that it is effective for ADHDers to slow down for a second, to pause, take a look at what it is that we're doing, examine the outcomes, and figure out where that relationship is between cause and effect. Essentially, what our actions are and their outcomes. That way we know what it is between our actions and their outcomes that we need to change in order to have a different outcome. It's really hard to just adopt a new routine and say this is going to be the thing that fixes everything if we don't know where in our current routine there is that breakdown between the behavior and the outcome of that behavior. So instead of bringing you a formula for what I, some random stranger on the internet, think that you should do, I wanted to run an experiment. Do you remember how I said at the beginning of the video how I think that I don't really have a morning routine? Well, that mindset was actually part of what stopped me from making this video for literally years. So I decided I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach, and rather than figure out what my morning routine is and then present it to you as something you should do as an ADHDer if you want to be successful, I want to take on the spirit of examining my causes and effects. So I decided I want to film my mornings for a work week. to see what I got up to in the mornings and then discuss what it is that we can take away from this analysis of my mornings. Now, I needed to put on my glasses because we're getting a little scientific here, okay? I have a dual hypothesis about this. On the one hand, I think that I naturally tend towards that menu strategy that I mentioned, where you essentially have categories of lists of things that you can do. Take self-care, exercise, morning routine, night routine, whatever it may be. But the menu means that rather than having a strict routine where you move from A to B to C, you instead give yourself a list of things that you can choose from to both reduce decision fatigue and also help you address the fluctuating needs of the ADHD brain. So that is hypothesis number 1. On the other hand, hypothesis number 2 is that I think that filming myself may unintentionally give me some bias, and that because I am visible, making myself visible by filming myself, I may be more willing to do certain things essentially for the camera, right? However, if we think about it, I'm not going to say that this is necessarily a bad thing. I think we can view this as a coping strategy for getting things done. It's a little bit like having a virtual body double, which body doubling is a strategy that ADHD people use in which we do something with another person nearby. Don't ask me why that works. I don't understand the psychology of it. Anyways, I have talked far too much in this introduction, so I am going to stop and let's take a little bit of a closer look into my mornings. Good morning and welcome to Monday. I managed to wake up at a normal time on Monday, which is around 8 o'clock, and yes, I do spend a little bit of time in bed scrolling my phone. I choose to scroll certain sites like Pinterest because it helps me stay awake as somebody with ADHD who struggles to stay awake, but doesn't get me stuck scrolling like it would on TikTok or Instagram. And then I try to have a little bit of movement in my mornings with a bit of a meditation. This isn't something that I do all the time, but it is something that helps me stay grounded, especially during times of stress. Hello, good morning. I'm gonna make my breakfast. I'm having a cup of tea from my favorite little tea shop in the West Village called Paquita. I think I'll eat a bagel, my favorite. So I normally eat my breakfast while doing something like watching a YouTube video, but it is 9:15 right now and I need to leave around 11:30, so in an hour and 15, to go teach my class. I teach some undergrads, and the problem is last week was a holiday, so they didn't get the content that I was supposed to teach, so I have the challenge of catching up really fast the course content for today, and then also producing some kind of lesson plan where we will be able to go over both last week and this week. It's not going to be perfect. I think what I'm going to do is just quickly go over the vocabulary from last week to make sure that they understand that, and then spend a little bit more time on this week. Basically, what I'm saying is I would normally take things a little bit slower, but I'm behind, so I'm working on putting together a presentation for class. Okay, the slides are put together. I'm gonna make sure that I have a handle on the readings after I get dressed. And luckily it should not take too long because I thought about my outfit last night, so I'm relatively prepared. I'm going to wear a pair of jeans, this merino wool sweater from Banana Republic, and then my two most recent vintage purchases. I have this velvet vest from Coldwater Creek with this really cool floral print on it. And to match the colors of this, I'm gonna wear these Converse that I just got. I have been wanting Converse for quite a while now, and something about Converse just makes my inner teenager so happy, and I finally found a pair that was in my size in a color that I absolutely adore. So that's the fit. Something that I'm only noticing as I'm editing this video and not in the reflection that I give at the end of the video is that I spend a lot of time reducing the amount of decisions that I have to make in the morning. I tend to eat the same foods in the morning, I tend to prepare my outfits the day before. I do whatever I can to reduce the number of decisions that I have to make because making decisions is something that at least I with ADHD struggle with. Anyways, after I was dressed, I got ready to head into the city, which included packing my bag and picking out a coat. And then I did a little bit of reading on the train, as I usually do when I'm like a little bit behind on my work. And because it was such a beautiful day, I decided to run over and grab a coffee before I finally settled into teaching. And that is my Monday morning. I wasn't planning on vlogging into the city, but I ended up leaving rather early, so I felt like I had time to catch up on some reading and make sure I know how to answer certain questions that I think are going to come up, and I coincidentally had enough time to get a coffee, which I usually don't. Overall, a good Monday morning so far, but I'm going to sign off here for the day, and I will see you guys tomorrow, which should be interesting because I usually have a standing appointment in the city on Tuesdays, which is what gets me up and going, and it's been canceled. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. See, this is why I don't think I have a morning routine and why I don't necessarily think I need one and why I don't put my pressure on myself to have one. It's 9 o'clock and I'm still in bed when I normally get up at 8. I slept through James getting up, getting ready, and leaving because I had a little bit of an insomnia night, which happens from time to time. It's not like anxiety-induced insomnia, it's literally just I am so physically awake that I have no chance of falling asleep. So I probably didn't fall asleep until around 2 a.m. When that happens, I tend to sleep in a little bit because I'm trying to make up for hours that I've lost. And especially on days like today where I don't have anything until the afternoon and my first afternoon appointment was canceled. So I don't have anything until the late afternoon. I don't feel too bad about sleeping in a little bit. I'm gonna just hang out in bed for a minute, do a little bit of reading, do a little bit of writing, and then get up. And that's the plan. Okay, I'm up. I did some reading. I read for about an hour. My thesis, I was reading I was reading a PhD dissertation about vintage marketplaces and consumer spaces because I run a little writing group on Tuesdays for grad students. So I like to come prepared with some readings and quotes and kind of like start jogging some ideas in my brain. So I did that, and now I am getting ready to go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in like maybe 2 or 3 weeks because I injured my shoulder at the beginning of the month and I haven't been able to go to the gym. They don't tell you that hurting your shoulder impacts literally everything about your physical capabilities. But I'm gonna take it easy because I don't want to hurt my shoulder again. So we'll probably focus on just like a little bit of cardio, maybe some legs and some core, and we will leave it at that. I have been doing those stretches and that yoga that you saw yesterday as a part of the kind of like physical therapy for my shoulder. That is like just enough for my shoulder, so I'm not going to push it by doing any like weightlifting or anything like that. All right, let's go get dressed. So I got ready for the gym, headed to the gym, did the gym all by myself, which I usually don't do, so pat on the back for being a big girl. And then I made myself a delicious breakfast. It is noon now and I'm just getting around to eating. I have to admit, these are not my favorite days. I feel really like motivated and empowered, excited to work when I get up earlier and like I don't know, there's something about like if I get up at 8 and it takes me 2 hours to like do all the things I need to do to like get ready for the day, and then it's only 10, I'm like, fantastic, it's only 10. If I get up around 10 and it takes me 2 hours, then it's noon and I'm like, I've wasted my entire day. So that's how I'm feeling right now, which is not the truth. I know it's not. I have plenty of time today to get things done, and in reality, I probably only ever do like a couple of hours of work at a time. So anyways, I have made myself some breakfast slash lunch. It's like a pseudo rice porridge with some charred cabbage and a couple of fried eggs. I'm going to munch down on this, take a shower, get dressed, and then kind of reevaluate where I am with the day. Not my favorite kind of day, but it's the day we're having. We are going for comfort over anything for today because I have a lot of writing to do once I get done with my morning. And oh, that's backwards, and headed off into the city, which I'm almost at that point, which is good because I need to leave soon anyways. So jeans, loose sweater, and my favorite surplus military jacket that James gave me. That's it. And many hours later, I am finally ready to go. It is 1:45 in the afternoon, and I have finally finished getting up, doing my movement, eating some food, and getting ready for the day. Not my favorite kind of morning, but it is the morning I have had nonetheless. It is now time for me to head into the city so I can run the writing group. I have plenty of writing projects to work on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the works right now, and I need to stop procrastinating on those. So I'm going to sign off here, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. For some reason, somebody wanted to have a meeting with me at 9:30 in the morning. I am not entirely online until like 10, but it's for a really good reason, so let's get ready. I didn't quite capture it, but the way that I am able to get out of bed and get dressed and make some food and be like prepared with hair and makeup and everything when I actually have something to do is incredible. You know that phrase that says like a task will take up as much time as you allow it? That is like the epitome of ADHD, and yesterday morning was a perfect example of that. And today I managed to get things done simply because I had a meeting coming up. Okay, my meeting starts in about 5 minutes. I have gotten dressed, eaten some food, put on a little bit of makeup, all within an hour. Who is she? This was not my life yesterday. Granted, I lowered the bar for myself today, and I did not do that yesterday. I'm very excited for this meeting. It's for an exciting opportunity over the summer, which, I mean, makes my summer really complicated. I'm getting married in June in California, like immediately after my graduation here in New York, and this summer opportunity would be in New York. And we are also moving because James is going to grad school. It's going to be an interesting time, but I'm excited nonetheless. I have a new chair because I realized a lot of my shoulder issues that I do my stretches for in the morning are because my desk setup was not ergonomically friendly whatsoever. And I also got a new fidget toy. I got this little tangle snake after playing around with somebody else's and realizing how much I really love it. I have other things that I need to share with you guys that don't really fit into the parameters of this video because I haven't done a regular vlog in a hot minute, like the fact that my union at school has called for a strike. So unless things go really, really, really well at a bargaining meeting on Friday, we are going on strike. And I have not had one single normal educational experience, so why would this year and this semester be any different? But stay tuned to hear more about that. I will definitely be talking about it in a vlog that I'll be doing next week because that's when the vlog starts. But that's for later. I am going to set up for this meeting, write down a couple of questions, and I will check back in with you then, although I am essentially ready for my day. So my morning routine is pretty much done today. Wildly different than it was yesterday, right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning. It's Thursday. It's 9:30 and there's no hot water. And I think I would like to just give up. This week has not gone how I wanted it to. The house is a mess. I haven't had a chance to clean it. I'm feeling behind on my work. I'm just feeling really overwhelmed and really tired, so I've been sleeping past when I usually get up. This was not the greatest week to film a exploratory ADHD morning routine, aside from the fact that I suppose it has shown the fluctuations that one may experience with ADHD. No hot water, and I really need a shower. There's a strike happening. Pretty sure I'm PMSing. I have to go grocery shopping. It's the end of the world. I'm gonna get dressed even though I feel absolutely disgusting. I'm just gonna go into the city early, do some work from the library. Okay, after a long deliberation, I am dressed. I have put on some makeup, and I have some food. We're making the day happen, and also, I don't know if you can, there you go, here, you can see it. Do you see that beautiful sun? I'm still in a bad mood, but the sun is making it a lot better. I think by now you guys know the drill. I'm gonna eat, and then I've been trying to pay attention to what I've been doing. I did not do my stretches this morning. I have no movement in, but I was just thinking with how beautiful the sun is, I might go get a coffee and take a stroll around the city before I settle in to teach. So there's the movement, but I've also noticed that I tend to do a little bit of work in the mornings, and I still need to put together my slides for today's class. So that will be my little bit of work for the morning. We're getting it going. Dang. Words. I asked Instagram if I should wear boots or my like berry colored Converse, and everyone said Converse, so I'm quite pleased that my audience gets me. Because this is probably what I was gonna wear anyways if nobody had said anything. Alright, welcome back. If you can hear stomping noises coming from somewhere above me, I apologize. My upstairs neighbors are very loud. I hope you don't mind me using my laptop to read off of. I have ADHD and I can't remember a script to save my life, so we're just doing things a little bit differently, right? That's the whole point of making YouTube videos about ADHD and ADHD awareness. It's to build awareness of how we do things a little differently, okay? At least that's my justification. I hope you enjoyed that closer look at my mornings as a graduate student with ADHD. Without further ado, let's just jump right into examining some of the things that I thought were worth noting. Number one, I actually do kind of have a routine, but it's one that I think emerged naturally rather than one that I imposed on myself or like decided that I would do. I tend to wake up around similar times, I get in a little bit of movement, I eat, get dressed, do a little bit of work in the morning, and take some time to do something for myself before the day like really gets started, like getting a coffee or going for a walk before class. But my second point is that my mornings fluctuate a lot in terms of how, when, and in what order I get things done. And the most important thing I want to say is that that is simply okay. As I say in so many of my videos, different must be okay. Nobody works the same. I think that is like the biggest misconception when it comes to people with ADHD who try to do a morning routine and fall off of it because they can't do it in the same stereotypical one step at a time way that other people do it. First of all, that's boring. Nobody wants to do that, or at least I don't want to do that. And second of all, just because the way that you do things doesn't look like the way other people do things doesn't mean that it's any less valuable. In fact, there is this concept called not neurodivergence, but neurodiversity, that we are all neurodiverse because all brains are different, and they are different naturally and evolutionarily speaking, kind of on purpose. We know from evolution that species cannot be homologous, meaning that they cannot be the same, because if everyone is the same, then we are all susceptible to the same hunters, to the same diseases, to the same environmental pressures that cause extinction. Do you get what I'm getting at? Being different is something that is entirely normal and necessary for the human species to survive. It's only because of late-stage capitalism that we think that being different is wrong. Anyways, that was an unscripted rant. This is why I think that I thought I didn't have a morning routine, because it looks different than your stereotypical A to B to C, step by step. Mine just looks a little bit more like Z to G to L. And that's okay, and normal, and necessary. Anyways, the third thing is, I think that all of that is a reflection of the menus that I talked about in the introduction, where essentially you have like a list of options that you can choose from for the different categories of your life: morning routine, night routine, self-care routine, cleaning routine. Instead of having a step-by-step list of things that you think you should be doing, you have options for things that you can do, which allows space for the fluctuations of an ADHD brain on a daily basis, whether that's energy levels, interest levels, I don't know what else, but that's what I'm getting at. The fourth thing that I noted was that all the things that I do, particularly eating a good breakfast and getting in some movement, are things that are recommended by researchers and experts on ADHD to do as a part of managing ADHD symptoms. So I think that it's really neat that I either like absorbed that information and naturalized it into my life, or that they were things that I was already doing, which would be reflective of me having a good intrinsic understanding of myself and my needs. Which either way, I think it's really cool that those are the things that now have like naturally emerged in my morning routine. I have two side notes I want to address though. The first one being that dual hypothesis. I think I was right about like performing for the camera, and that I was more willing to do things because I was filming myself. However, I still do many of those things when I'm not filming myself, just not quite to the amount that I do them when I'm filming myself. On one hand, could partially be responsible for feelings of burnout. If I'm constantly filming myself, then I'm constantly performing a little bit more for the camera. But on the other hand, that also helps me get things done. So I also see it as a coping strategy, but then again, it leads me to being a little overwhelmed. We're not gonna examine that too closely because I will spiral. Shit, what was the second thing I was gonna say? Son of a bitch. Well, you have witnessed me forgetting something in real time because my working memory sucks. If it comes back to me, I will share it. In the end, I never want to tell people how they should do something because I think it's important for us all to figure out what it is that will work for us. However, the one thing that I would strongly encourage you to do is to spend time building awareness. Whether this looks like a daily journaling practice, a voice to text in your notes app, or talking to a partner, or talking to a therapist, or picking up books like Transforming ADHD, which is honestly one of my favorite books about ADHD. Whatever it is, I think that this building awareness has been the most helpful for me in terms of making changes in my lifestyle that I would like to see to help me cope better with my ADHD. And very lastly, I want to leave you with a very important reminder. I am not perfect at this. As you saw in the vlog, my mornings fluctuate a lot. And the other thing is, no one is perfect at doing a routine, at doing anything really. And just because like it doesn't look perfect or feel perfect doesn't mean that it's any less valuable or worthy of your time. If spending time doing certain things in the mornings sets you up to have a good day, helps you cope with your ADHD, ensures that you are well fed, that you're getting a little bit of exercise, that you're doing the things that help you live a valuable and comfortable life, then they are always worth doing no matter what they look like. And that is all I have to say on the matter. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. It's a little experimental, not my typical style, but I really enjoyed conceptualizing it and filming it and editing it. So thank you so much for giving it a chance with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below. What does your morning menu, morning routine, morning life look like? I'm curious. Perhaps there is something that you can take away from mine, and I would love to see if there's anything I can take away from yours. We are, after all here to support one another. And with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!